Shout out to Sejim.
Katano's interview with Evo.
Okay, so by the way, I'm kind of glad I watched it today because I found it to be an interesting interview, but I don't think it's like reaction worthy, really. You know, it kind of reads like a magazine interview. It's a video. Anyway.
One of my fears, certain pattern that we see with some players who either don't play the game as much or aren't as experienced compared to other players. Watch certain pro gamers, very interesting shot that Evo used here, and see their reaction to things that happen in the game. It's like we got feedback from actual players, but now we're getting feedback from like people who just got their opinions from someone else.
I mean, for that screenshot though, I really don't think a lot of people be taking Left's opinions on this game, dude. Like he just got like, you know, he's trending for the 80 billionth time, and it's something about like a tournament he entered where he alt F4 to gold Lewis something, and like, you know, he fucked up. It's -14. You know, I do feel that, but then also it is gold Lewis. Like I don't feel like people be taking his opinions on the game. You feel what I'm saying? Like I don't think of him as a thought leader in this game, for lack of a better word. So like if you're like a really sweaty tournament player, you have probably taken his advice at some point. But if you're like a standard player of the game, you probably are not only are you likely not interacting with stuff that he puts out, but like stuff that he says about the game you probably disagree with mostly. No, so I think it's an interesting shot for that reason.
And I love that he says basically, we know this is a thing. We know people get their opinions from other places, so we have to consider like the people who are saying this stuff, where do they get this opinion from, and like does it make sense or not? Great example I always bring up is Edmond Honda in Street Fighter 6.
Shout outs to a GOAT. Shout outs to a GOAT.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Edmond Honda. The only way I could beat a Capcom Cup champion, even a single game in FT10, was with Edmond Honda, bro. Shout outs to my GOAT, bro. That's a friend right there.
A lot of people thought he was bottom 3 at like a really high level, like tournament level play. But outside of that, he was like the best character in the game. And as a developer,
Yes, sir. In
some ways, even though he's a bottom 3 character at a high level, the vast majority of the player base, when they interact with him, he's a demon. But what he says here, right? You get feedback from people who don't play the game. You just take it from someplace, right? Like Phenoms on Twitter saying Ken's bad.
Bro, I have one regret of not playing SF6 Season 1 seriously, and it was the fucking character wars. I wish I was in the Discourse wars, bro. I wish, because I'm a devil to these two people who talk about characters like that, especially top tiers. I'm a devil to these people. Yeah, it would have been so good. It would have been so good. I don't know who I was gonna settle on between like a JP or a Guile or something, but whoever I was, like, nah, I can't let people cook on character cap, bro. I cannot. That shit's so funny to fucking read. They're all arguing about their top. I mean, we have it in this game too. It's about like how HC and Nago players argue about whose character is more bullshit and stuff. Like it's hilarious to me.
We gotta go type it up, or wherever the location is. And this may be from me. You may be thinking, yeah, all those other people get bad opinions from places, but I get my opinion from Sejam. Let me just copy what Sejam says. You shouldn't do that either.
That's right. You shouldn't do that. Even me. I mean, in my case, I know that I regularly say shit that people don't agree with. I know that all the stuff I put out, like, there's a lot of stuff that people don't agree with, and I put it out knowing that people are going to disagree sometimes. Most of the time, honestly. But it's challenge your beliefs. Like, in Dragon Ball is a huge one. I said Snap is good for the game. People are like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I'm like, you need to get punished for being hit, and you don't. You bum. So we need something that punishes you for getting hit, bro. Like I was huge on that. People hated that take. So it's fine. My only red flag is if someone says all of my takes are bad. If you say that, you're probably the problem. I usually expect like 80%, like, oh, okay, that's a great take. 20%, what the fuck. But if someone is like, okay, always has a bad take, red flag. In my opinion, that's a red flag for that person. That's a fighting game player. Everything, nah. You have to play curse shit if you do that.
You should think to yourself, what are they saying, and does that make sense? Do I think this? Like, what do I think about this? Well, I'm not sure, or I think it's maybe too good because of this or that, or maybe you think it's too good but you don't even know why. But
this think thing is making me panic, by the way.
This is a factor for everybody who makes anything ever now. People will play it and talk about it, and loud voices will share an opinion. And I think about this a lot too, because I often make videos that are contrary to noise. It's a lot of like, well, let's try to be sensible about things. And I think, to be honest, like, I'm not saying that those people are wrong and that I'm right, but we just are coming at something in different ways or with different level of tolerance.
The difference between me and Sejam, sometimes I'm like, I'm right. I mean, sometimes I fuck up and I'm like, okay, I gotta make a video about how I fucked up. Kai is probably the biggest one. So compared to Kai, of like, you know, that's the you lose on your own offense period, because people were playing characters. They're playing characters like Giovanna, saying that they lose on their own offense. I was like, bro, we gotta walk this back. We gotta walk this back.
I'm sure a lot of you know, like, when you talk to another person, sometimes you'll say a sentence. You'll be like, what do you think about, you saw this movie or whatever? And you could tell that the person who answers you is not thinking about their answer. They're like autopiloting the conversation. They're giving you the TLDR of someone else's opinion heard from somewhere else that they heard from someone. They saw a YouTube thumbnail somewhere. Great example. Justin Wong made a video.
I want to hear some example. I actually have a really but he said Justin Wong, so I might. Okay, as you guys know, I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom. I'm almost done. The reason why I decided to play it was because I saw in my YouTube recommendation. So like in February, let's say in the Vortex. And so during the day, I would just have YouTube on. So I was watching a lot of Zelda speedrunning videos in February, like a bunch of them. One of the recommended videos was not Twilight Princess, Tears of the Kingdom is mid. And I was like, well, it's time to play the game, because now we're at that phase of that game's life where, actually the game was mid, so I need to play the game myself, one, so I don't get spoiled, and two, so I have my own opinion on the fucking game. By the way, it's not mid. It's not mid.
And the YouTube title was something like, is Chun-Li low tier in Street Fighter 6 now? It's like something like that. Like, obviously, Chun is one of the strongest characters in the game by most people's opinion in last version, and now in this version. A lot of people think she's really good. His like title was that, and someone in my chat said like, oh yeah, Justin thinks Chun-Li is low tier now. I haven't watched the video either, but I assume that he doesn't say that in the video, question mark, right? But also, no one thinks the character is low tier. Most people think that she is super, super strong. It's just like the title says that.
Film Twitter is so bad of that. They'll just turn on acclaimed movies randomly someday. I hear this a lot in Fire Emblem too, like Fire Emblem communities, like how when people are like 3 houses is mid, I'm like even though the complaints are valid, I'm like, dude, the game's not mid, bro. Like, come on, bro. I usually actually accept the game is mid if people are saying it quick. Because you would know quick. You would know really quick if a game is actually mid. There is a certain fighting game that came out, kinda... a new character came out in the game that many of us would play. Yeah, her name is Nen Master. I don't know what the name of the game she's in, though. But real talk, the first time I played, I was like, this game is mid. And then the game came out, and I gave it another chance. And I was like, this game is mid. There's another game that has characters from Persona and BlazBlue and Under Night and Ruby. And I played that game for legitimately 20 minutes. And I was like, this game is mid immediately. And my BlazBlue homies were like, what's wrong with you? And 3 weeks later, they're like, this game's fucked. This game's fucked. It was one of those. I put more time into the previous game we talked about than the 2v2 game featuring Ruby characters. Did I really say mid for the game with Ruby? I actually did not say this game was mid. I said the game was something not very polite. You know me. I was kind of like, ew. You know, bro. There's another one. When the game with Captain Marvel, my bad. When the game of Captain Marvel came out, I was like, and then the real main reason I was playing that, because my homies were all telling me to play because it's gonna be esports. But I was steered wrong once again with character choice. But to be fair, my homies had my back. My homies had my back on that one. I really just be doing it to myself
constantly. They do this with every single thing. It's why when a new DLC comes out, you know, Akuma and Slayer just came out. As you guys saw, everybody comes in here at streamer. Is the character broken? Is he good? Is he bad? Thoughts, opinions, impressions? That's why everybody wants to know. It's been 2 hours. Everybody calm down. And I think that the launch patch for Street Fighter 6 is good. And I think this patch is pretty great too, actually. But they didn't just be like, all right, drive rush is like punish counter state, or like, what was that suggestion James Chen had? When you get hit while drive rushing, you should stumble inward towards the other characters so you can like get a full combo or something. You know when Soul counter hit Fafners you in Exerd? It should be that, but in reverse, right? You should just tumble inward towards you and like fall towards the character. Yeah, I wonder how Luke's crouching medium punch would be if every time he hit it and you were drive rushing, that happened to you. And the stuff that I don't agree with, even, I can see why they made the changes they made. Most of them seem pretty sensible. They just have like a different vision of what the character is supposed to do. And maybe my vision is honestly probably too boring is the actual answer.
Words cannot describe how hard it actually is to make a fighting game, dude. There are people like, dude, if you think you know all this shit about fighting games, you should make one. No, I'm good, dude. I'm good, bro. I'm good. People at Harada, casually. I'm good. I'm chilling. Let me make YouTube videos. Let me talk shit about Faust. That's my job. I have a very easy job compared to a fighting game dev. Nah, I'm gonna lie. I'd be on private forever, bro.
This is something I'm really afraid of for 2XKO, because that game I'm sure will be patching more frequently. And the amount of human beings who are going to be talking about 2XKO who don't play fighting games is going to be outrageous. They're going to be looking for someone's opinion to parrot, right? And it might be mine, it might be someone else, it might be someone who doesn't play fighting games, but like the audience is going to be an enormously loud voice no matter whose opinion they're copying. You're playing a different game. Like, you're not playing the same game that the people whose opinion you're copying. Your level of play and their level of play is different. So your problems and their problems are going to be different. What you're complaining about watching your matches is not actually what's happening here. You gotta really think about it on your own. It's really easy to just copy other people's opinions and regurgitate them. Be careful out there. Use your brain. If your mouth is moving and you're not thinking at all, you got to be careful. You're what I've been saying, and mash it on words, you know.
Too many NPSs? What's it NPS? NPC? You mean? No, I mean, like, it's just tough because, you know, we do live in the attention economy, so like you only have so much bandwidth, you know. And I'm pretty sure most people have like their one thing where they're like really deep in and stuff, and they have their own unique shit, and then they have a bunch of side things where like they're knowledgeable-ish but not as much as their main thing, and for that they rely on like getting outside info and getting things parsed for them, you know. It's tough. The main thing you can do in fighting games, you can just vet everything on your own.